morning, Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. We have an awesome experience to have today as we dive into Confucianism and Shintoism. We have Anne with us, my sister Catherine Mandella, and Dom. And we have very special guests, Sawako Ama and Rieko Kotoku, who combine kohaku. They're going to provide some beautiful taiko sacred drumming and chant for us today. And let's begin by singing our welcome song.
That's right, you're in the right place at the right time, just where you're meant to be. Let's sing about how we're welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. All right, I know I say this every week, but you are really, really in for a special treat today. I mean it. I'm in the right place at the right time, right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is. Oh, my soul is. And I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, my soul. Your soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. 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 My soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome. Oh, everybody's welcome here. My soul is welcome. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Yes, it's welcome here.
Morning, SLC. You know, it was a Wednesday and I pulled into the church and all the parking spaces are taken. I'm thinking, what? It's a Wednesday, what's going on? Then it dawned on me, this was Reverend Christine's first class. And the reports I got, it was a fantastic class. Good morning, Reverend Christine.
Thank you. Good morning, Reverend Rick. And welcome, everyone. It's so lovely to see your beautiful faces this morning. And I want to greet you in the name of all that is good and all that is sacred and all that is holy, and in the warm and loving energy of our community Spiritual Life Center. SLC honors all people worshiping in temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and the beautiful temples of nature, because we know that there is no spot where God is not. And if this is your first time joining us, online or in person, we especially welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident, but by divine appointment. So please silence your electronic devices now and no flash photography, please.
And today's daily word is world peace. The affirmation is, the peace of my soul brings peace to the world. The Bible's sacred pairings, lions and lambs, sword and plowshares, reveal that peace becomes possible when I and others hold life's polarities in harmony. These verses remind us that wholeness arises not from opposition, but from integration. Within all people, strength and tenderness, boundaries and compassion, courage and vulnerabilities arise from the same divine source. Lion and lamb are not rivals. They are facets of one creation. Sword and plow are not contradictions. They are different tools for transformation. Peace begins when we see that opposites both within and around us can be allies rather than adversaries. And this realization takes root, and any impulse to defend or harden begins to fall away. And as that great sage Confucius said, if you meet somebody who is good, please try to equal them. If you meet somebody who is bad, a bad person, look inside yourself. Then you will see peace. Today's daily word is peace. Let's go into prayer moment. Dear Spirit, thank you for that spiritual wisdom which so often comes to us from Asia. Thank you for all the opportunities that we do have to love, to serve, and to remember. Thank you for SLC, this incredible spiritual community, which has a powerful message, not just for Sacramento, but for the world beyond. And for this and so much more, we say thank you, and amen, and amen. And you know, we also say our mission statement, not because it's boilerplate, quite frankly, but because it really reminds us of who we have come here to be. Let's say it together. To transform lives, to make a positive difference in the world as we love, serve, and remember. And we also say those 5 unity principles because they really can restore us and get us on the right road, as it were. Let's say them together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action. And today in our series on unity of world religions, we move from the Abrahamic faiths over to Asia. And it's important to remember how much to the Fillmores and other pioneers in this movement, when they were blown away by what they learned from Asian spiritual principles. And to do this, today we're going to be looking at both Confucianism and also at Shintoism. And we really welcome 2 of our guests, Sawako Ama. Sawako was born and raised in a Buddhist temple in southern Japan. She has studied gaku, Japanese traditional music for Buddhist temples and Shinto shrines. Also, she's formed a partnership with Ryoko Kohuko, and they explore the roots of Japanese culture and celebrate the arts, dance, and spirituality. We are so happy to have them here. And there is so much going on, both with unity and world religions and all the other stuff we're doing here. There's something here going on every day that can help you with your spiritual walk. Christine, tell us about some of them.
Yes, well, let's start with our Wow Wednesdays. So there's, of course, the open prayer circle with a chaplain that starts at 5:30. And then after that lovely time, there's a community meal at 6 o'clock. Please RSVP if you can ahead of time so our team knows how much food to prepare. And we have dances for Universal Peace with Sally Sion and George Peckham. There's George. My workshop is, it'll be the second week. If you'd like to sign up, you can do so in the courtyard or online. We'd love to have you join us. We had a fabulous first session. And
on our Costa Rica raffle, remember Ludacris had roll out. Well, we have sold out. All of them have been sold out. The drawing will be next week.
10:45. And today we're starting our call for gala auction items. Very important for us to have an auction. We have to have things to auction. So see a board member at the auction table in the courtyard. And the donations will be accepted between July 26th and August 23rd. Also, our Faith in Action artist application is still going on, and you can apply through the 26th. Again, very important. Our artist portion of the Faith in Action is such a rich part of that, and we have so many different kinds of artists. So consider signing up and see Kathy Donna and Marianne Mancina in the courtyard.
We are very soft sell in terms of membership, but if you have that, and the membership is important, if you have that desire to learn more about it, please join us. We'll be in the annex today from 1 to 2 or on Zoom to find out more about what it honestly, truly does mean to join and become a member. And we're always grateful to have new members come into our community. And speaking of which, we have a community update with Patty Peters and RJ. Here you go.
Thank you.
Oh, sure. Hi, everyone. So the month of August is Volunteer Celebration Month, and we have 3 events to tell you about. I'll tell you about the first event, and our Director of Events and Volunteers Coordinator will tell you about the second and third event. So, in 2 weeks, we would like each and every one of you to stay after the service, and we have our Celebrating the Heart of Service volunteer celebration. And as I look out across the room, I see a lot of volunteers. And all of you volunteered to show up today. And you volunteered to show up at SLC and give your heart, give your soul, give your time, talent, and treasure. So what we want to do is in 2 weeks, we want to invite all of you to stay after the second service, and the Board of Trustees is graciously going to provide each and every one of you with a complimentary lunch. Not only volunteers, but everybody. So you all get a wonderful lunch in 2 weeks. And then afterwards at 1:15, we're going to have the Celebrating the Heart of Service program. And we're going to put the spotlight on many volunteers that have been around for 10 or so years. We're also going to have some testimonials from different areas of service. So there's a lot of really fun activities that are going to take place during that program. And we would like to ask each and every one of you to consider strongly attending the lunch and the program. Now, we've put together a really good team, which is part of the ABC team. So Linda Paoli, myself, Ellen Ferguson, and Carol Mercer are the core team that are planning this, along with our Director of Events and Volunteers, Patty. So we have a spectacular day planned for you in 2 weeks. I hope you will consider attending.
And then next up, we'll be having our Spiritual Gifts Workshop on Sunday, August 23rd from 1:15 to 3:15. Have you wondered what your gifts are as you go about your day? Well, please come to this workshop and we'll help you find your way. A way to serve your community, which will serve you also too, because you'll feel so good about the things that you will do. So let's work it out together. With Lisa's help, you'll see that sacred service to the community is where you want to be. Then next, please come to the volunteer fair. It's the very next week. Between and after services, it's exactly what you seek. So if you go out to the courtyard, small group leaders there will be, you can ask them anything about their mission, don't you see? You'll find what they are all about, how they serve and what they do. And the purpose is to see if that's a good fit for you. And remember, it's not just serving, but friends that you will find. And some friends will last forever. That's the very best kind.
Our SLC rapper / Dr. Seuss. Okay, so let's see. Where are we? Right here. That just totally took me out of my body. Not there.
Yes, we are. Actually, we are coming up to, there's so many ways to make connection.
Yes.
Also, after the service, we have our prayer chaplains are here to pray with you one-on-one out in the courtyard. please come there. There's so many ways to connect. One of the ways when you walk out of here, look at the wall because it has so many things, small groups which we're not even mentioning here. Go to the website, and there's so many ways to find that spiritual connection. Now we come to my favorite part of the service, which actually is connection. So let's give that connection to each other as we feel best fitting.
Great.
All right, everybody, please have a seat now. And instead of singing a song right now, because we don't think we want to try to get you to sing in Japanese or Chinese, but I want to tell you that these two instruments that Catherine are playing today, the one she just was playing that you probably didn't hear at all, is called a pipa, and this instrument here is called the erhu, which is the equivalent of a Chinese violin. So we're going to play a piece for you, for your enjoyment, called Purple Bamboo Melody. purple bamboo. And now, as we prepare for meditation, let us speak together our vision statement. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet.
Kio me tamae, harai tamae, kio me tamae, harai tamae, kashikomi, kashikomi. Kimi ga
And now I've prepared a Shinto-style meditation, and there'll be a few places of silence included. So please become comfortable and take a deep breath. And slowly allow each inhale to arrive without effort, and each exhale to soften your body. Effortless inhale and softening on your exhale. And I invite you to imagine a forest shrine just before sunrise. And there you see ancient cedars, towering ancient cedar trees. And you look down and see dew-covered moss. And you hear the birds awakening. And ahead, you notice a graceful Torii gate standing. And as you walk on, you cross beneath it and notice that you're leaving ordinary awareness behind you. And you become aware of the sacred silence known as Ma in Shintoism. And you experience this sacred silence in the spaciousness and the silence between breaths. In the spacious silence between sounds. And the sacred silence between thoughts. And you rest in that stillness without needing to change anything. And ahead, you notice this crystal waterfall. And you step into the waterfall for purification, or misoji in the Shinto tradition. And you feel the water flowing over you, this pure, pure water, washing away fear, washing away hurry, washing away any resentment, washing away self-judgment, washing away anything that no longer serves you. And with every breath, you become lighter, clearer, and renewed. Now I invite you to place your hands over your heart to experience Mago Koro, which is the true heart. And we sense that true heart, the sincerity, the genuineness of that true heart. So precious. And I invite you to repeat slowly to yourself, may my heart be true. May my intentions be sincere. May kindness arise naturally. May I meet all beings with respect. May I live with Mogokoro, a true heart, in the silence. And we offer gratitude for trees, rivers, mountains, sky, and all living beings. And remember your family, your ancestors, teachers, and future generations, and carry their gifts with humility. Resting once more in sacred silence, or Ma, we turn and walk through the Torii Gate, carrying the gifts of purification, Misoji, true heart, Magokoro, reverence for nature, and gratitude for family into our everyday life. So take another mindful breath and gently open your eyes with gratitude.
Thank you to Sawako and Ryuko. Boy, oh boy, I really think our music ministry has gone, on this series on unity and world religions, has gone over the top in terms of with the music that has been provided here. Christine, thank you for a wonderful meditation. I'm first going to be talking to you about Confucius and Confucianism, and then Ryoko is going to be, Samako is going to be talking about Shintoism. And again, we're moving from the Abrahamic faith, and I think it's important for us to remember how the pioneers in New Thought, the Fillmores and others, were just blown away when and it was hard for them. I mean, we go down to Barnes & Noble, there are 50 million translations of the Bhagavad Gita. You go online to Amazon, you can get the Analects, you can get Winnie the Pooh in the Analects. I mean, that wasn't the way when the pioneers of this movement went down, and they were really, as it were, blown away by the spiritual wisdom that they learned from Asia. I have to tell you, my original exposure to Confucianism came from Houston Smith, that great writer and professor of comparative religion. His wonderful book, which I've recommended, World Religions. And I was blown away when I read about Confucius, because I had, I associated Confucius, go to a Chinese restaurant, you open the fortune cookie, and it says, beware of the man wearing the red tie in the month of July. And by the way, I have to say that this is another one of Reverend Phil Pearson's ties, which I was gifted, and I feel very, very honored as it were. So I wrote up about Confucianism and about Tian and Ren and Li and Zhao. I mean, I had it all, and the interactions. And I finally said to myself, Rick, you're missing it. You're really missing it. Because I think what Confucius did in the time period which he lived, which I'll talk about in a moment, is very relevant to us. And he has a lot to say to us at a 50,000 feet level, metaphysical level. Yes, I think there's so much we can learn from Confucius. When you start going down in the strategic level, the guy lived 600 years before Jesus. I don't think adopting the specific tactics is going to work. Let me make an analogy. Myrtle Fillmore believed that, really, really, really it was important. Youth and family ministry was so essential to the unity movement, and she pioneered that. I totally, one of the reasons I came here was because you guys really had that similar type of commitment. Just this week, Reverend Lisa Lawson held a workshop here on youth and family ministry. We had, from Walnut Creek, we had all over people coming here. And I must say, Jesus said, to whom much has been given, much is required. Much has been given to us. And I think we have an obligation as a congregation, as a community, as a spiritual community, to try to help other New Thought, interfaith, unity communities in Northern California and elsewhere to really take off. So anyway, Reverend Lisa held a wonderful seminar here to help people really start getting into and revitalizing their youth and family ministry. And I agree with that. But, going back to Myrtle Fillmore, one of the key ways Myrtle Fillmore did this, in 1891, she founded We Wisdom magazine. Which lasted, it was 1893. It lasted until 1991. Do I think that we should go back and revitalize We Wisdom? No. It would go over with, I think, the youth of today like a lead balloon. But coming up with, so I'm not advocating we go back and read ancient Chinese texts and things like that. But I think what he was driving at was so important. The period he was, and you've heard me say this before, progress is always 5 steps forward, 4 steps back, 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, for so many reasons. And this is not just Washington, D.C. It's, I think, worldwide, yucko. We are now in a 4-step back period for many, many reasons. However, what I think, And so was Confucius. I mean, the Zhao dynasty was really falling apart. And there were a lot of crazy ideas in his day how to make China great again. And I think the important thing is that Confucius really put some positive things about how do you revitalize a society? How do you revitalize yourself? So let me put it sort of in a modern context. And I think if Jesus were here, if Confucius were here, they'd resonate with using this analogy. Let me see a show of hands. How many of you visited Jeffrey Epstein's island? No, put your hand down. Nobody. And even if somebody had, you'd probably be embarrassed or, you don't want to get in trouble with the law or whatever. But then both Jesus and Confucius would say, let's go beyond that. Why didn't you visit Jeffrey Epstein's island? Was it because you were never invited? Or was it because, quite frankly, you were scared that that eventually this thing's going to blow up and you'll get caught and your name will be on the front page of the New York Times and that's the end of your career? Were those the reasons, or was there a higher reason? And Confucius, like us, was living in a period where, you thought this was as low as it could go. The next day you find it's even lower. Dog eat dog and devil take the hindmost. I love it how Garrison Keillor, remember Prairie Home Companion, he talked about some of the good Christians of Minnesota. They had satellite dishes, and during the day, the satellite dishes were looking at the satellites way up in the sky, broadcasting hallelujah and all that. But then during the evening, they would lower their satellite dishes, said Garrison, to get some of the lower level satellites broadcasting pornography and everything else. And then in the morning, before everybody else woke up, they'd raise the satellite again, so they were looking at the top high, anyway. So, I mean, think about it. Jesus talked, and Jimmy Carter, remember, he got teased about this lusting in your heart. But Jesus very much thought, and same thing with Confucius. What's in your, there's a saying in 12-step fellowships, if you spend enough time in a barbershop, you're bound to get a haircut. And these thoughts keep going on. You're bound to eventually. It's not just doing what looks like publicly the right thing. It's doing it for the higher reasons and aligning with that. Confucius called it te, that divine wisdom, that divine power. We'll get back. We'll get back to that. So, both Confucius and Jesus would very much agree, particularly if you're addicted to something. Your ego's not going to probably get you the ball in the end zone. You need something more. Jesus very much talked about opening up to the bright winds of the Spirit, to the opening up to the Holy Spirit. And we don't care whether you call it Buddha nature, higher self, or whatever, but opening up to that. And I certainly agree with that. But Confucius also says, yeah, that's true. That may be true. But what's also important is what he called forming a Zhenzi. What's a Zhenzi? A Zhenzi is a noble person. A noble person. And how do you do it? Well, Confucius suggested that the way to do this was through education, through moral education, both on an individual level, a community level, a family level, and on a national level. It takes knowing your history, it takes poetry, it takes ritual, it takes music. It takes some things which are not too fashionable these days. Etiquette. It also takes, argued Confucius, it also takes not just etiquette, but it also takes discipline. And this self-cultivation and creating a society which encourages this self-cultivation. And as that starts to happen, you're not going to Jeffrey Epstein's island for the right reasons. You're not, and things like Jeffrey Epstein's island start to melt away in your society. Confucius also wrote very much some of the earliest writings we have on checks and balances. It wasn't that the emperor was an all-powerful despot, according to Confucius. He's there for a reason and has certain moral obligations to the rest of society. And he was very concerned that in his time and day, the checks and balances which had traditionally been in Chinese society had been eroded away. I would say very similarly, we in America like to pride ourselves on a society of checks and balances, not just political checks and balances, but socially in a lot of other ways. And where there are not those checks and balances, thank God during our history, we have had movements like the abolitionists, which have worked to make sure, or the labor union movement, or environmentalists, to make sure that those checks and balances are strengthened. I would argue that very much like in the day and age of Confucius, we are going through a period where those checks and balances in so many levels in our society are just being waylaid and truly diminished. And it's important for us to cultivate that Gen Z, because to be beacons to restore and strengthen those checks and balances. Another thing which I'm going to not just raise with Confucius, but when we get next week to Buddhism, and then when we get to Taoism, I'm going to be talking about non-theism. A lot of times it's said, oh, Confucius atheist, Buddhist atheist, Lao Tzu atheist. I think that really misses the point. Confucius, first of all, he took rituals and ceremonies very seriously. I mean, if the guy was an atheist, he took rituals and ceremonies very, very important. But non-theism, it's, in the case of Confucius, you believe that there is this moral, he called it te. Sometimes it is in Chinese society, it's called qi. By the way, if you're playing Scrabble and you're stuck with the Q and there's no U showing up, yeah, I'm seeing Heather nodding. Take the I, because QI is recognized in the Scrabble dictionary, and it means that spiritual force. Confucius, and I would argue Buddha and also Lao Tzu, believed it was not an anthropomorphic God. It wasn't like a God like Martin Buber would say, an I-thou relation. You couldn't have a you relationship with it. I think probably the most famous modern explanation of non-theism, believe it or not, is Star Wars. May the Force be with you. Think of Yoda and the Force. It's and what Confucius is saying, there is this moral law. There is this force. And when we, on an individual level, and when we on a family level, and when we are on a nation-state level, in harmony with that force, things flow well. When we are out of line with that, then things start to go very, very badly. I truly think that places like SLC, because I think many of the people who are going to be attracted to us will not be theists. Let me, all cards up, I am a theist. I do want a God who has some skin in the game, quite frankly. But I believe that a place like SLC should be a place where theists, non-theists, and spiritual atheists, and I'll be talking about spiritual atheists down the road, where all of us, theists, non-theists, and spiritual atheists, can live together, work together, and feel we have a wonderful community together, advancing spiritual principles. And I think that that is possible, and a lot of the people I think who are going to be attracted to us will be non-theists. They will not have a God with any anthropomorphic form, but they will be highly spiritual, and they will be wonderful, wonderful partners in our community. Second to last thing I'd like to say is that as we study our spirituality in Asia, we have a lot to learn from our Asian neighbors in terms of interfaith, that it is a legitimate and a very natural way. It is not unusual in Japan or in China for, I take this from Shintoism, I take this from Buddhism, I take this from Christianity. and amalgamate it and put it all together. Put it all together. And so I think in terms of how you work out interfaith, we have a lot to learn from our Asian our neighbors. Last thing, as beautiful as both Shintoism is and Confucianism is, they can be hijacked by for pretty blatant and greedy political reasons. We saw that with Shintoism in the 1930s in Japan. And quite frankly, we are seeing that in terms of Confucianism in communist China today. When Mao came in, oh my God, Confucius was the devil and the enemy. They quickly learned that you could use Confucius to advance the party's ends and all that. And they have done that. As a matter of fact, the societies which they form around the world are called Confucian societies. So, I mean, Confucius going from devil is now sitting at the right hand of Mao. And I think it's important, I don't just point these two out, but to realize that a lot of times very beautiful religious traditions and faiths can be waylaid and used for pretty selfish political conditions. And I think it's important for those who have Gen Z to make sure that that does not happen. So I would lastly say, it's every once in a while, I think it would be wise for us to step back and start inventorying a bit. What am I doing to cultivate Gen Z in my life, in my family, in my community? Am I interested, in terms of art, in terms of nature, in terms of walking by the American River or whatnot? Art, poetry. Have I gone through 2 or 3 months where I've done nothing to cultivate Gen Z in my life? Or have I done this, that, and the other? And I think that truly is important. And when we start doing this, I think Confucianism can be very important to us beyond beware of the man in the red tie in the month of July. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much for having me here. You might be wondering why I'm talking about Shintoism, even though I'm growing up in Buddhism temple. And I'm going to ask you something. Can you tell the difference of Shintoism and Buddhism? Or even the temple building and shrine, which is Shintoism? No? Yes? It's difficult, huh? Well, if this is a Japanese audience, they will say, more than half of them will say no. So here is the torii, the gate of the Shintoism. So most of you probably have seen it and maybe went to Japan before. Yeah, this is the symbol of the entrance of the shrine. So if you see this is Shintoism. If you don't see this, it's Buddhism, most of the time. Now, Shintoism is not strictly religion. It was just a paganism. It's the oldest living Japanese tradition, and then the spiritual traditions. So we don't think it is religion. It's because that we have to consider it religion because of the Buddhism came, Christianity came, and then we didn't know what to do with what we had. And then the Shintoism is all about rituals, ceremonies, and it's all related to nature. So Shintoism asks you how we relate to life, relate to nature. And seasonally, we have rituals and then ceremonies, and then they're all different from region to region, and also Shinto shrines to shrine. The Shintoism building, or the house of God, is called shrine. I'm going to take you to the tour. So if you go through that gate, you have the little long path to go through. So that's right before that gate. The path is called Sando, which is birth canal. So you're rebirthing every time you go to the shrine. And then you walk through this gate, and then the first thing you see is, the next picture, is water. You're going to see it right before the building. And here, you're going to clean your hands, clean your mouth, and clean your radle. This is the ritual of the purification and cleansing before you entering the shrine, which is the sacred place. Now, why do you have to purify yourself? Are you dirty? No. Well, we're all dirty in a sense. In our mind, we have so much things going on. So it's just this time that you are entering the sacred space, you are going to neutralize your thoughts. We call it totonoeru. I couldn't find the word in English for this one. Totonoeru means that put everything in order. All the chaotic thoughts and then negative energy. We are human, so we have stress, anger, jealous, you name it. We have it. And then we don't deny it, and then we can't deny it. We cannot get rid of it, but it's there. So we just see it and then put an intention that okay, now it's time that just to calm it and enter. So this is a place to clean, and so you're going to be cleaning in your mind too. And you go to the, after this, you're going to see this building. It's a main building. This is a small one. And then you see the white paper hanging, and then it's hanging from the woven hemp. Shri's made a very beautiful altar here. So this purification, the white, and then also made from the special hemp, farmed by the certified farmer, and we don't use it for nothing else. One thing for one in Japan. So shrine only uses these papers. So we were discussing, what do we put on altar? And then Shri said, this is the most simplest altar she made. So, and I said, yeah, simple is good. So Shintoism, you don't need anything, but you just go to nature, and then you feel it. And Shintoism is the big difference from other religion is that there is no founder, no script, no sacred script whatsoever. Nobody's reading the book in the shrine because you learn everything from nature. You don't need to read anything that is written. You don't need to be told. You will learn it. If you don't learn it, you will learn it later because the nature always gives you life, right? But in Japan, the nature can give you very difficult time. So the natural disasters, we're always living with the natural disasters, the fear of natural disasters. So we call it ifu no nen. This is also the word that I couldn't find in English, but the best word I saw was awe. So it's the respect to the nature, but also the fear to the nature. It's not the sense of panicking, negative fear. It's the fear that if you are in a deep, deep nature by yourself, you feel calm first, but you might start to feel a little agitated because you're alone in deep nature. You might not be able to get out of there, and how do you live? So that feeling, the awe, that feeling is very important in Shintoism because when you're feeling this ifu no nen, you do have to live in peace and you do have to find harmony with nature, living in nature. Otherwise, when the tsunami comes, takes all your family's life, takes all your money, takes all your house, how do you live? You have to find the balance. You have to find the harmony in yourself when disaster happens. So Japanese people have this ifu no nen all the time, even though if they're not aware. But that really takes out of their ego because they don't know, there's nothing they can do if the nature comes at you. So you just have to find the peace in yourself. So this is very important in the Shintoism. And this picture shows you a 1,000-year-old ginkgo tree. Because if you walk into the shrine, if you walk around, you will find one tree or one big rock with this hemp paper and then hemp twine around it. That shows you the boundary between this world and the other world. It's the sacred boundary that you can't cross. So they're protecting the tree so you don't go in, and then also shows you there is God in the tree. Shintoism, there's no one God. There's 8 million God and goddesses, which means everything you see, everything you hear, everything you feel has God in it. Even in your earphone, in your glasses, everything. So funny thing, I've seen in the shrine, I've seen a space for car purification. People bring the car to the shrine and they do the purification because they believe that there is God in it or spirit in it. So they can protect you. Yeah. So let's go to the next picture. So if you're living in close to the nature and then having the feeling of awe or the ifunonen, you will realize that you are not just living, you are being lived. So that's very important. So when you feel deeply that you are being lived, you're going to be naturally be very grateful for everything you have and everything you don't have. This picture is one of the fire ritual that I visited in Nagano in a very, very little village. So this is a ceremony that it happens for fire spirit. So the ritual and ceremonies are for calming down the spirits and God and goddesses in nature so the human can live in peace or a human can have a harvest. So that's a big, big reason to do ritual and then ceremonies, it's sacred ceremonies. And then the next picture will show you the other ceremony, the little boy. 3, 5, 7 is the significant number in Shintoism. So when the kids becomes the age of 3, 5, 7, they go to shrine and then they show the gratitude because they're growing up healthy and then they're there existing. In an ancient time, 1-year-old, if you get to 1-year-old, that was a big deal. So this is very popular ritual that everybody goes to. The funny thing in Japan is I told you that the 50% of the Japanese people can't really tell which is Buddhist temple and then shrine temple. This is why, because shrine Shintoism and then Buddhism temple, they were so merged into our life, and then it didn't really matter if you can differentiate it. And then especially the Shintoism rituals and the little things we do in life was so influenced by the Shintoism, we don't know, we're not doing it consciously. So one of the things is that if you ask you, so what religion are you? Can you tell quickly? Can you tell me that your religion is? And most of the Westerners probably can say it. If you are in Japan and if you ask Japanese people, what religion are you? They're going to look at you. Why are you asking me that? And then they think about it. If I have to answer, well, my grandpa was died, and then we had a Buddhist priest came to our house, and we did a ritual. But my mom and dad, they went to the shrine and then had a wedding. Oh, wait. But I went to the shrine this New Year's Eve. Oh, no, New Year's Eve, I went to the temple to ring the bell. And the New Year, I went to the shrine and did the prayer. So what religion am I? That's what they say. So it doesn't matter. So they're confused, and then also they're accepting everything. So that's Japan. So that's why there's no judgment about the religion in Japan. I wouldn't say zero, but they are more acceptable. So that is a great part of Shintoism. It's an acceptance, because when you're having a natural disaster, if you lose everything, you do have to live, continuously live, and then you just have to accept what it is. You know, what happened is what happened. So let's see the next one. If you go to standing in front of the shrine, most of the time you will see these little cute doggies on both sides. So one doggy is opening the mouth just like that, ah. And then the other one, his mouth is, So both together, ah, Can you say it? Ah, Do you see the vibration inside? So sound is very important, and aum. So they believe that aum is the sound it started, the beginning of the universe. Aum. We have expression in Japan, aum breath. That means everything in perfect harmony. Everything's little things is like this. So aum, no breath, no kokyu. So that's an expression we use a lot. So they are representing the universe, beginning of the universe. And if you keep saying does that sound like something that you know? Yeah. So yeah, very similar. And then that's the sound that it started, the whole thing. So shrine. Some people believe everything is coming together to the Shintoism. So the aum came from India, Hinduism. And let's see the next one. This picture, this place exists in real, and it's not too far from my hometown in Kyushu Island. This place, the mythology of Shintoism started. So the Shintoism was there first, and government in 1,000 years, maybe more than 1,000 years, 1,500 years ago, they wrote a mythology how the Shintoism came about. So in this mythology, there is a sun goddess. And the sun goddess is the most powerful god in Shintoism because the sun will give you all life. But it's not the very first god existed in the world in Shintoism. There are other god and goddesses before sun god. And then there are two important god and goddess was very first in the world. They called Izanagi and Izanami, male and the female energy. And they created all 8 million god and goddesses. From there, it just went spreaded. So in the mythology, the sun goddess had a brother. He was very aggressive, and then he was always fighting with somebody, and then he started to do too much mischievous things in the world and then distracting the world. And then he started to kill all other god and goddesses. So the sun goddess said, I can't stop him. What can I do? So she got so mad, and then she couldn't handle it. So she hid herself to the cave in here. So it's the sun goddess. She said, I'm going to hide and then see what's going to happen in the world. I can't stop him, and I'm very mad. I'm going to go bye-bye. So when she went into the cave, the world went pitch black, no light. So what are you going to do in the black? Nothing lives. So the goddesses started to talk about, so how can I get the light back? And then finally they said, well, we're going to have a festival. We're going to have a big party. And then they invited a dancer. And they started a big party in front of that cave. And then the first, it was very sacred, and like a dance like I just did. The ringing, clearing the energy, clearing the space. And then this dancer started to turn and turn and turn. So Uzume is the name of her, the goddess. Uzume means vortex and spinning, whirling. It's the vortex energy it's creating there. And then as she goes into the trance, and then it just keep dancing, all her clothes goes out and off her body, and then she started to become like a naked dancer. It's not sexual, maybe sensual, but nobody cares because she's in trance. She doesn't care. She's just in the energy, and then they keep dancing. But other goddess and goddesses looking, watching the dance, and then they just started to laugh because it's so funny. Somebody's dancing naked. And then they couldn't stop laughing. And then now the sun goddess says, why are they so happy? They shouldn't be happy. I'm not there. So she wanted to peek. So she opened a little bit of the cave entrance, and then she looked at it. And then here's the big rock god pulled her out, and she found out there was the party going on without her. So, the light came back. Yes. So laughter is the most powerful purification you can do. Because when you're negative and then you're in this down, what can you do? Laugh. And if you can't laugh, what do? Laugh. Until you laugh, fake it till make it. Yes, so great purification you can do. And let's go and see the next one. So this is another thing that you can see in the shrine, that it's the big. So the reason that we sang the national anthem is because in the national anthem, there are all the aspects of Shintoism. This is the most Shinto-related song that we could find. It's the national anthem. That's how it's related to Japan. It's the Japan Shintoism. It's not the religion. It's just Japan and Shintoism. It's connected. And the emperor is the offshoot of sun goddess. So sun goddess is the ancestor of the emperor. Emperor's job in Japan is not governing the Japan. It's the most important job is to pray. The emperor does not have any power to govern, but the power to pray. So he plays for people, he plays for the world peace. That's their main job. So that's very different than other countries too. So this rock was made millions of years ago, and it still exists, and then has spirit in it. So everything you can find, you can see gods and goddesses, and also you can see the sacredness in everything you can do if you put the intention to it. Very important thing, you can go to the nature today and then just feel. And maybe you can go to your altar and try clearing everything from the altar, and then make as simple as possible, and then feel what happens. And then hopefully you'll find all the awesome things in your life, a lot of things today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sawako. So wonderful. And next week, our Unity and World Religion series continues with Buddhism, and Reverend Rick will be presenting that for us. And we also have special musicians, Anton Miserak and Lori Berryhill. Yay! Haven't seen them for a while, at least I haven't. And by the way, you can learn more about all of our wonderful guest artists during our Unity and World Religion series by clicking on more details on our website's events page. So now we would like to acknowledge our newcomers. So if you are watching online, you can go to slcworld.org click on the Connect button and fill out the welcome card. And this will let us know that you are watching, and we can also keep you up on our happenings here at SLC. And for those of you who are here in person today, newcomers, you can raise your hand. I don't know if I see anybody, but our ushers do have a welcome card and lays, and I think we're all family today. So welcome, family. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about our offering. So we are a spiritual cooperative, and there are a variety of opportunities to help support Spiritual Life Center. You can text SLC Love at 44321, use the QR code, or go directly to our website and click on the Donate button. You can also mail in your love offering, and we'd love to see you in person, but if your preference is online experience, join the community by subscribing, offering your thoughts on the chat, and leave a like and share in the journey with us. So let us say our love, our offering blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
Iro
Here they come. Dear Spirit, thank you for all the prayers in our prayer box and prayers on people's hearts. Help them to know that overcoming and purifying power of Spirit that can get them through whatever challenge they are facing. Thank you for all the investments that are made into this ministry in terms of time, treasure, and talent. And for this and so much more, we say thank you and amen and amen. Let's stand for the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, I am, and all is well.
So let's sing our reconciliation song, and then Kohaku is going to come back for a very dynamic taiko piece as a postlude. If you have hearing sensitivities, it will get very dynamic. So you might want to go and watch it in the courtyard or in the annex if that might be a thing for you. So let's sing our reconciliation song.
Please join me in singing. Oh, let us be a generation of reconciliation and peace, and let us be a loving nation where pride and prejudice shall cease. Let us speak the truth in love so that everyone may see. Let us serve the light in unity so all will be set free. Let us be a generation of reconciliation and peace. Oh, let us be a generation of reconciliation. You sound so beautiful, and let us build on one foundation till love comes and the wars of men shall cease. Let us share the love of Spirit without hypocrisy. Let mercy and forgiveness begin with you and me. Let us be a generation of reconciliation and peace. Let us be a generation of reconciliation and peace.
God bless you.